And just so that everyone else is aware, as I record, these are posted then on YouTube. So if you do not want to be YouTube famous, then you might want to not share your screen, which is okay. You cannot share your screen on this meeting. It's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. But if you want to, we'd love to see your smiling face. So can everybody see these slides? Let's see if I can figure out how to make them into a presentation. Can you all see this?
Yes, sir.
Now, when I do presentation mode, I can't see you all. So welcome to our 4-H Club meeting this month. I guess we're in our 6th year of the virtual 4-H Poultry Club and I guess this is our 7th year of the virtual Poultry Club. And then this is our 5th year of Work Ready Florida. So it's nice to bring the two groups together tonight. And I appreciate everybody being flexible in the Work Ready Club. So we always start with the pledge. So who would like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Anybody, any volunteers? I saw Alba had her hand up. Go ahead. You want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Go ahead. You got to unmute.
Mm, how do you do it?
Just put your hand over your heart and kind of stand up and then read this. I'll read it along with you if you'd like. You
Okay,
ready? All right, you
ready?
ready? All right.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
to the flag
of the United States of America
of the United States
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
liberty and justice for all.
Great job. Thank you very much for helping. I appreciate that. All right. We always start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and the 4-H pledge. So would anybody like to do, maybe somebody from Work Ready wants to do the 4-H pledge? We
I
have,
can.
all right, go ahead.
All right. I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart for greater loyalty, my hands for larger service, and my health for better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
All right. Thank you very much. I don't know who that was, but I appreciate it. Was that Terry?
Isabella.
Oh, Isabella. Okay. Well, thanks, Isabella. I was gonna, is Laura on? Laura Bew? I don't see her on. I was gonna brag on Laura. Laura, oh, I'll brag on her anyway, even though she's not here. Laura, as you know, is in both. Well, maybe you don't know this. She's in both our virtual poultry club and in our Work Ready Florida club, and she's an executive board member, and she's very involved in FFA. And the reason I was going to brag on her is she came in at the Florida State for this her first year showing exhibiting sheep at the state fair. She's exhibited sheep for several years, and this is her first year exhibiting at the state fair. Well, she came in, I believe, in our skillathon as far as the champion youth program. I think she was third or fourth in the state in the contest and won a scholarship and is now part of the state fair ambassadors for a year. And I was going to brag on her and congratulate her, but I just wanted to throw that out there for everybody. That was back in February. She did very well at the state fair. So next time
Awesome.
I see her on one of these meetings, I'm going to do this again. But I didn't want to forget because it just happened a couple of weeks ago. So congratulations, Laura. Remember we always like to celebrate one another in these clubs when somebody does something interesting or cool. And so congratulations to Laura. And uh, yeah. Bimini, I saw you at the fair too, and you did very good in poultry judging. Weren't you on the state? Were you on the state winning team? I know you were judging. Um, were you part of that team that won from Volusia? I know you're in Indian River, but um, I know they had some kids from different counties. But anyway, I know you did quite well in poultry judging and also did the champion youth program too. So uh, we need to get some of you other guys exhibiting poultry down there at the state fair. I think you all would enjoy that. And Bimini did poultry judging. All right, so let's see. Before we get started, can you think? No, can you name a poultry species? Oh, what happened? Let me go back. A poultry species that you already work with, or I meant to say a poultry. Yeah, name a poultry species that you already work with. I know some of you have quail, some of you have chickens, a lot of you have chickens, some of you have turkeys. Just put it in chat. Lily, if you want to tell us, you can too. Or if you want to ask
Guineas.
a question.
Guineas.
Guineas, okay. Yeah, guineas are interesting. They're very vocal.
And they're jerks.
Orpingtons.
Well, yeah, they're. What's that? Somebody said Buff Orpingtons?
Yeah, Buffalo Orpingtons.
Okay, those are good chickens. All right, now think of a poultry product that you use regularly. And I'm thinking a lot of you might use eggs regularly since most of you have laying hens. But what are some poultry, or maybe you like chicken nuggets? Maybe you like those dinosaur shaped. Do you know those dinosaur shaped chicken nuggets aren't real dinosaur meat? They're really poultry meat. They're really chicken. But what is a poultry product that you all like? Let me go to chat. Oh, chicken nuggets, a lot of chicken nuggets. Miss Prudence wants a new chicken. Eggs, I see a lot of eggs. I figured a lot of you like eggs and oh, Amelia did poultry judging too. Amelia, I also saw you, I think, at the Champion of Champions that last night. So congratulations to you too. She did quite well too. A lot of you guys are doing real good at these statewide contests. Makes me very proud. All right, so let's go back to a lot of you use chicken nuggets regularly, eggs regularly. What's your favorite poultry product? Is it eggs? Is it like an egg dish, like an omelet, or like if chicken meat or turkey meat is your favorite, are nuggets your favorite form of chicken, or is it like fried chicken, or is it like barbecue chicken or something like that? Some of you in Hillsborough County might like arroz con pollo. I know I'm probably not saying that right, but that chicken and yellow rice, the Cuban chicken and yellow rice, very good. Maybe you love scrambled eggs, or maybe you love a hard boiled. I don't like. I wish I liked hard boiled eggs. I just don't like hard boiled eggs, but I do like eggs cooked a lot of other ways. Lily says eggnog. I like eggnog a lot too. Miss Prudence says breakfast casserole. That's very good. All right, so think about those things because the kind of the goal today is if I do my job right, and we'll see. I'm struggle bus the last week or so, but if what I hope to accomplish today is take you thinking about something that you use regularly from chickens or turkeys or whatever poultry species, and think about all the jobs along the way from well, basically from the farm all the way through processing, shipping, and then up to your table. Because there's careers every step of the way. And it's the same thing. If we were talking about dairy, we could say all the careers in dairy science or in animal science if we were talking about beef or pork or lamb. But tonight we're talking about poultry. So we'll talk about poultry careers. Alba, you have a question? Do you want to share a story? Go ahead and ask your question.
When when you were ta talking about the dinosaur chicken nuggets, I had those in because I really liked the dinosaurs.
You like the dinosaurs? Yeah. They're cool, aren't they?
Yeah, and I have the chickens that are dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds yummy. Oh, and somebody said cakes. Bella says cakes use eggs, which that's very true. And I like cake. I sure like cake. All
And
right. So what we're going to
and
do tonight is explore poultry careers. Did you going to say something else?
and there's one chicken that is very broody. She really wants to be a mom, and we found two baby chick eggs when we were making scrambled eggs, and she and they weren't alive yet.
No. Well, maybe you can set some fertile eggs under and she'll hatch them out. Maybe you'll get some springtime chicks.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to talk about a kind of an overview of the poultry industry and talk a little. Oh, there's Laura. Laura, you missed out me bragging about you. Did you hear me bragging about you?
No, I was late.
Oh, well, I was explaining to everybody how well you did at the state fair and won in the, what did you come in, third or fourth place in the champion youth program?
I came in third.
And then yeah, you're going to be an ambassador for a year. Have you started anything with that or is that upcoming?
We haven't gotten the email yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we're very proud of you. And I know Amelia and Bimini and a few others on here participated in the state fair too, but I was very proud. I was bragging on you. And so I just wanted to congratulate you. Very proud of you. I'm proud of Amelia. I'm proud of Bimini. I'm proud of all of you that did so well at the state fair. All right. So let's see. Where was I? Oh, you want to watch a video first or after we talk? I got a video for us to watch. Let's watch the video. Let me stop sharing this. Stop share. And then let's try to share this video. Let me pull up this video and let's see if we can figure the technology out for the share. This is from Auburn University. Now, look, I'm a Florida Gator. I went to UF. I'm a Florida Gator. But Auburn has a poultry science department, and their poultry science department put out this video about poultry careers. And so, can you all see this and hear it? Good.
Science department and the research we are doing, as well as the poultry industry, is so vast. If you like to travel, we have a job for you. If you're a people person, we have opportunities there as well. If you want to be in a lab and you want to do research, we can train you in that niche as well.
When students graduate from the poultry science department, they have the tools that they need to go out there in the industry and face the challenges that we find when producing chicken. So our students are able to meet the challenges that are faced in our industry.
There's so many opportunities in poultry science, and I think it's important for people to understand that it's not just about birds and backyard flocks and birdhouses. The poultry science department is always working on a lot of product and production issues worldwide, and with the growing population, there is always going to be a high demand for poultry products. I know some of the research that's going on at the Auburn University Poultry Science Department is addressing key issues like mitigating wooden breast myopathy and trying to lower the cost of feeding broiler chickens. I mean, all of that goes back to like a global stance.
Alabama is the #2 state in the entire nation for the production of chicken meat. So if you get a degree here and you want to stay here in Alabama, there's lots of opportunities within the state where you can stay and you can use your poultry science degree to really make a difference.
If you like applied, hands-on science that can create an impact while doing basic
I think I lost my
sciences like
video. Did my
chemistry,
video quit playing?
biology, molecular.
No, we can still hear it. We just can't see it anymore.
Well, I don't know what happened. Well, it's about over anyway. So let me just get back to the point of that video is there's a lot of universities even that offer a degree in poultry science. UF used to. Now we offer a degree in, well, we did then too, but we offer a degree in animal science, which can include some poultry, very little, honestly, poultry work, but they do cover poultry as well. Whereas schools like Auburn, they have a specific poultry science degree that you can get. But a lot of these, the video showed different aspects of what you can do with a poultry science degree. And I believe Miss Prudence is working on a poultry science degree as we speak. All right, so
mine is public administration, but my project will be on creating a standardized ordinance for municipalities to use in regarding poultry and their housing within city limits.
oh, well, that's needed. I bet I get at least a call a month from somebody about that.
Yes.
And there is no standard. I mean, I always tell people check with their local zoning or whatever the rules are.
Yeah.
All right, can you all see my slides now? It should be a chick and it says importance of poultry. Can you all see that? Sorry about the video. All right. So we know we get meat and eggs from poultry. We get byproducts too. We've talked about that in other meetings, but look, check this out. The poultry industry contributes over $70 billion with a B annually to our national economy and drives rural job creation and trade. We ship poultry products around different parts of the world too. We don't just eat it here in this country. So it is a global industry. And we do probably bring in some, I didn't really look this up, but I'm sure we bring in some poultry products from out of country as well. But most of our stuff is grown here domestically, our poultry products, eggs and meat. And so you got to think about all the steps along the way from the genetics of breeding these birds that are very good layers or these birds that are very fast growers that produce a desirable carcass for somebody to eat, all the way from feeding these birds, housing them so that they're comfortable. We remember, and both of our clubs should know this, unhappy animals aren't profitable animals. They're not going to eat, they're not going to perform well, they're not going to grow well. That's why we as farmers and ranchers and producers, we've got to keep our animals content and happy and healthy. We want them to feel safe. We don't want them to have a high cortisol, be stressed out. We want to just be happy and eat and have a good, nice, nice day so that they will perform the way they need to perform. And so there are steps along the way, even from taking the bird from the farm to the processor, the eggs from the farm to the processor, packaging cartons, driving trucks. There's all sorts of careers in the poultry industry. So, all right, let's go to the next slide. Just a reminder, and we've talked about this, I know, before. The chicken that we know today traces its lineage back to the Gallus gallus, also known as the jungle fowl of Asia. So all the chickens, the billions of chickens, and I think there's more chickens on planet Earth than there are people. In fact, I know there is. And I happen to know that the most populous bird on planet Earth are also chickens. But all chickens of all the, somebody mentioned they had, I believe they said they had what, Buff Orpingtons. And then I know some of y'all have all different kinds of show birds. All of them date back to the jungle fowl, the red jungle fowl. And this is an example of what the jungle fowl looks like. And there's still jungle fowl today. All right, so egg industry is huge. We've got to house these layers. When I was a kid, and I'm getting old, I used to say I'm not that old. I can't hardly say that anymore because I'm getting old, but I'm not super old. But when I was a kid, there were more chickens in Hillsborough County, Florida than there were people because Hillsborough County was still one of the top egg laying producing counties in the United States, as was Pasco and a few other west central Florida counties. Miss Prudence knows because she grew up on a chicken farm in that area, Pasco County. And there was a time when Florida was one of the top 10, certainly top 5. In fact, when I was a kid in the 80s, Florida was the number 3 egg producing state in the country. Now I believe we're about we go back and forth anywhere from the 15 to 20 range. I think last time I looked, we were like 17th or 18th in egg production in Florida. But we still certainly grow a lot of eggs in the state. The farms, like every other segment of agriculture, the farms tend to be getting fewer in number but larger in scale. Whereas people, I don't know Prudence, how many hens did your grandpa have? Probably a lot.
2 million leghorns.
2 million leghorn hens, which sounds like a lot. But Cal-Maine, the big producer in Florida now, I don't know how
Yes.
many millions of eggs they have. I mean, they probably have, I don't know, I don't even want to guess how
I
many
don't think,
millions of birds Cal-Maine has. Oh, do you have a question, Alba?
yeah, I don't think I can make it because my computer is on low battery.
Oh, maybe you can find a plug and plug it in. If we lose you, we'll see you next time.
Okay.
All right, but try to find the plug. So the egg industry is just absolutely, think about every product that has eggs in it, like somebody mentioned cakes. Things have eggs in them that we don't even think about. And some of you, like Bimini, that does poultry judging, she can look at an egg and tell you if it's a double A or an A or a B or a loss. She's real good at that sort of thing. And some of you guys are good at that too. And so all the grade Bs don't get thrown away. We use them in cake mixes and stuff like that, uh, processed products. And the average per capita, what does it mean when it says per capita consumption? What does that mean about eggs? Does anybody know what that fancy word means? Per capita consumption. Anybody want to guess? I can tell you if nobody wants to guess. But I
Eggs per
know,
each person
yeah, how
or in
many?
relation to people taken?
Yeah, exactly. About how many eggs each person in this country eats every year is about 288 eggs annually. And some of you with chickens probably eat more than that. You might eat two a day. That might be 600 something eggs a year that you will eat. And
I
there's a,
found the charger.
oh, good, good. I was worried about that. I'm glad you found one. And so when I was growing up in Pasco County, which at the time was a big egg producing county, most of the hens, the white leghorn hens, like Miss Prudence is talking about, were produced in what they're called battery cages. They were long cages, and you might have one bird per cage. You might have two or three, depending on how big the battery cages were, the style. And the chickens would eat feed and drink water and sleep there, and then they'd lay an egg and it would roll out, and they had this thing that would catch them and bring the eggs. And so there's been this push in my lifetime, and there's still battery operations, battery cage operations, but there has been I would say, an effort to move away from, in a lot of operations, the conventional battery cages to what they're calling cage-free or housing systems for eggs. And a lot of you that are on this in the poultry club meeting, certainly with backyard hens, your birds might be considered quote unquote cage free. You might say, well, I have them in a big chicken run or a big coop. Well, that's still kind of considered cage free by the definition because when they say that, they're talking about they're not in those little battery cages. And a battery means there's several chickens in a row. That's what it's not like a battery you would plug into would power a phone or something. It's talking about battery as in a row of something, a big long row of something. And so when you have all these millions of chickens in one place, you've got to have good, clean facilities. You've got to have your biosecurity standards certainly on par because if one chicken gets sick, it could go through and cause a lot of problems for your whole operation. And so there's a lot of careers involved with keeping chickens healthy and keeping chickens well fed and designing things. And that's just the egg part. Now, if you think about the broiler industry, where we're talking about meat birds, there's about U.S. produces about 9 billion broilers annually. And look at this 36.5 billion pounds of chicken meat. And they grow rapidly. Now, the modern broiler chicken can be ready for harvest in 47 days. That is out. It's unbelievable how fast these birds can grow and produce a high quality carcass. And now chicken kind of dominates our protein, beef. People still like beef and pork and lamb and other protein sources, fish. But chicken has kind of taken the top spot in the United States protein market, chicken meat. Now, turkey is a thing too, and quail and other forms of poultry, but most people think about eating chicken rather than turkey is sometimes a seasonal thing, and then or turkey sausage or turkey sandwiches, that sort of thing. But there's a lot of now Florida ranks about 18th in broiler production out of all 50 states. So we do have a pretty good sized broiler industry and a couple of there's at least one big facility that processes chickens up in the Live Oak, Florida area. All right. Here's some of the leading states. So if you ever wanted to live in Georgia or Alabama or Arkansas, one of these states, those are some of our top broiler states. Top egg producing states now, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. But I will say, also in my lifetime, there has been a shift to more localized poultry production. And what I mean by that is, I said the big farms are getting bigger and fewer, right? But there are a lot of people who grow backyard broiler flocks or small, very small egg layer producers that will direct market to people in their communities. And that didn't exist really as a kind of when I was a kid. People just bought their eggs. If you didn't have chickens, or you didn't have a neighbor with chickens, or a friend or a nephew or somebody that you knew with chickens, you would just buy your chickens at the store. Well, now we have people that don't have chickens, but they'll go buy their eggs from a local person like you that's got a few birds and that just wants to make a little side money. And that's grown in my lifetime. That didn't People didn't think about doing that when I was a kid. Also, the broilers actually as well. There are people that raise a few hundred or even a few thousand broilers, and you might say, well, a few thousand broilers, that doesn't sound like a small operation. Well, you got to realize we're growing what we say, 9 billion broilers nationally. Most of these big companies are dealing in the millions or sometimes billions of birds. And so an individual, a small farmer that's producing a couple of hundred or maybe 1,000 a year isn't competing with some of these great big poultry companies. But people are still, and then sometimes people pay a premium for a bird produced in that manner. So that's something to think about. If you want to be a small farmer and maybe do this as a side job or something like that, you really like chickens, maybe you sell a few eggs, or maybe you raise a few broilers or a few turkeys. I knew a county agent that's raised Christmas or Thanksgiving turkeys, and I think she sold those turkeys for like $50 a piece or something like that. Maybe more than that. I don't know what she sold them for. So we talk about these trends and egg and meat production. Some people say it's a shift away from red meat. I say it's a shift in addition to red meat because people eat more chicken now than they did, say, 50 years ago, certainly 100. 100 years ago, chicken was a specialty meat to be enjoyed on special occasions, Sundays, holidays, that sort of thing, like turkeys at Thanksgiving. Now we have more of a mainstream consumption of chicken. We still eat plenty of beef and pork and stuff too in this country. Um, so there's different housing systems for chickens. This is an example of some of those battery cages I was talking about. Um, the chickens have everything they need right there: feed, water, everything. Their eggs are just collected. But some people want their eggs to come from chickens that have a little bit more freedom. So that's why we're seeing a lot of movement now towards the cage free and that sort of thing. Um, Broilers are raised in big barns, and they're harvested about 47 to 50 days. So they can go from hatching to about almost 6 pounds in 47 days. So it's a very short window. So they're grown on usually on in a housing system that protects them from predators and regulates temperature and that sort of thing. Turkey production, we did talk about this a little bit around Thanksgiving, but just as a review, the big there's about almost 400,000 jobs nationally related to the turkey industry. And here's the top states: Minnesota, North Carolina, Arkansas. Again, some of these were top for other poultry species as well. All right. So now that kind of summarizes what we are eating in this country, the eggs and the meat and that sort of thing. Now let's get into the actual careers that we have in the poultry sector, because all this meat and all these eggs has to be supported by people that are doing the work, feeding, caring for the birds, developing things for the birds, processing the birds, taking care of the eggs, incubating eggs. So this is just a very simplistic, you know, very, very simplistic overview of some roles in the poultry industry. And again, there's tens of thousands of jobs related to poultry science in our country. So some entry level type jobs, like if you're just getting out of high school and you want to get involved in poultry, or just getting out of college from Auburn or one of these schools with a poultry science degree, or UF with an animal science degree, you might get on as a farm technician or a hatchery assistant, taking care of the eggs in the incubator and keeping the incubators running good, a feed mill operator. And that's those kinds of jobs exist in every egg broiler, turkey, Bob White quail, every segment of the poultry industry. You'll need those types of jobs. A little bit more skilled careers, or would be more of a technician, somebody that understands how to operate the equipment in those facilities. Like, how do you regulate the incubator? How do you work on the equipment in handling the eggs? And the eggs are handled, eggs are very fragile, as we know. So we don't want to crack them. We want to clean them off and package them. But we don't want to break them along the way. A processing specialist in a poultry meat facility. And so those are a little bit more skilled. Then we get into sort of the professional level careers, like maybe you want to get a PhD in poultry nutrition. And those people make a lot of money because they're the ones that are formulating, like for Purina or some of these other big feed companies, or working directly for the poultry industry, custom blending feeds that will produce when a chicken takes, or a turkey or whatever takes a mouthful of feed, that mouthful of feed will nourish every system in their body. It'll have all the vitamins and all the minerals and all the proteins and every good thing that chicken needs to be in that. And that this bite of feed needs to be exactly like that bite of feed. And for this chicken, that chicken, and 1,000 chickens down the barn away. And so that's why nutritionists are very highly skilled to be able to do that on a large scale. It takes very smart people. Geneticists, how do we breed chickens that will lay 300 plus eggs a year? How do we produce these birds that'll be 6 pounds in 50 days? That's where geneticists come in. And then veterinarians. I know a lot of you are interested in veterinary medicine. Well, you can be an avian veterinarian and specialize in poultry species. And then there's leadership, people that are managing these big farms, people that are managing the trucking companies, people that are managing the processing facilities, people that are coming up with ad campaigns. There used to be an ad campaign years ago called what was it? The Incredible Edible Egg. Do you remember that, Miss Prudence? I don't ever know what happened to that. I don't see that
I
anymore.
I do remember that. Actually, my grandfather was part of the co-op in the early 80s that did that.
Yeah.
And then he retired not very long after that and sold all of his chickens. And the big family lure is that he made more money off his mailing list than he did the chickens
No.
because he had so many clients.
Mm. And research and development. You know, they didn't have dinosaur shaped chicken nuggets when I was a kid, believe it or not. And I'm old enough almost to be a dinosaur, but we just had chicken nugget shaped chicken nuggets. But somebody just said, you know what? Kids will think it's fun if we make these things dinosaur shaped. And so who knows what you guys might come up with one day to sell more chicken or sell more eggs. Egg beaters weren't a thing. You can buy the egg beaters in the store that you come in a cart and you just pour them out. That didn't exist when I was a kid. You just bought a dozen eggs. And so who knows what innovative thing you guys might come up with.
Well, Dr. Chris, in
Yeah.
January, I was able to go to the IPPE, which is the International Processing and Production Expo in Atlanta. They hold it there every year. And it is just, I was so gobsmacked, I guess is the way to say it. I couldn't believe when I walked in there I mean, it's huge for one thing. It's just gigantic, but they have people who have invented a better conveyor belt to look at when you're candling the eggs for production, the better conveyor belt for washing them, the better feather pluckers, I mean, the whole thing is just, I put a couple of pictures in the chat, but it was just amazing to see how you take so many things for granted. And with all these conveyor systems, there were other specialist that this one guy, his whole booth was gears because all those conveyors have to run on gears, and he sold a better gear than the other guy so that you wouldn't have to replace his gears in your system. And just the sheer volume of all that it takes to do that was just amazing to see.
Yeah, we think about how something gets from a farm in Iowa to our table in Florida or vice versa. There's so many jobs. Every step, literally along the way, has probably not just one job, but several jobs, several people working together to get that step done on a large scale. So I'll have to, when I stop sharing, I'll have to go look at those pictures. So there's entry level jobs, there's a little bit beyond entry levels, kind of skilled jobs, and then advanced roles in leadership. And that's true for poultry, that's true for dairy, that's true for agronomy, that's true for just about any field. I'm sure medical or any other field, you've got entry level jobs and skilled labor, and then more advanced roles, specialty roles, and then leadership. But don't be afraid when you're starting out to try out an entry level job. That can be a good experience for you to see if you like that industry, to meet other people in some of these roles, and then if you work hard enough and do good, you can work your way up into some of these other roles. And if you get the right kind of trainings or certifications or degrees, you might even get up in here and put the elbow grease in too. And I know you guys are interested in that sort of thing. That's why you're in at least the work ready. Florida kids are. So, and you poultry kids might decide, I really love chickens. I want to pursue a degree or a career in poultry science in the poultry industry. Or you never do, but at least you'll appreciate how those products get from the farm to your table, and you'll be a more informed consumer. So, we've got a few minutes left, and I got a few other things I want to do, but I want to do this activity first. So, here's how this activity is going to work. All of you at the beginning kind of told me a product, at least one poultry product that you like. So now I want you to think about, we talked about this very quickly, but we talked about there's careers in the egg industry, the broiler meat industry, the turkey industry, from hatching out the chick, feeding the grown bird, gathering the eggs, processing the chicken, marketing, sales, nutrition, genetics, veterinary medicine, advertising, all sorts of things. And we didn't even get into the culinary side of things, is food safety, chefs, packaging, all the things that when you go to the grocery store, you see how they have the eggs displayed, you see how they have the poultry meat displayed, then in the frozen food aisle, the whole frozen thing, processing the product into a frozen product that's packaged and shipped and ready to display, and uh, so many jobs. So think about all that, having said all that very quickly, and I know it might be overwhelming to you. I want you to think about that for a minute, and I want you to try to pick a career that you think that you might interest you in poultry science. Now, I'm not saying you're going to sign your life away and decide, well, I want to be this career for the rest of my life. No, I just want you to learn more about that career. So a lot of you have a way to do it. I know you have the internet because you're on the internet right now. So I want you to think about a career in poultry science. Just pick one career. It could be somebody that works in a hatchery, or it could be somebody that works in a feed store, or somebody that grows corn that goes into poultry feed. But do a little research do a Google search or however you search stuff. And I want you to find out about that career. And specifically, I want you to write down or type out, you can type it too, 2 to 3 sentences that summarize that job, including what the job does, what people in that job do, and then what is required to get hired in that job. Do you need a degree for that job, or is it something that you just need an experience to do? And then I'm going to we have 20 minutes left, a little less than 20. We have about 18 minutes left. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to do just some very basic research, and then we're gonna reconvene in 5 minutes. And I want to get some volunteers to tell me about your career and what's required, what it does, and what's required to get that career. So, does everybody understand? Does anybody have any questions? All right, I'm gonna stop sharing right now and see what's going on in chat. A lot of highs in the chat. That's fine. Okay, I don't think I'm missing anything. So, does everybody get? Is that Lily? Go ahead. You got a question?
Could I perhaps do a career that I'm already like thinking that I'm going to do? Because I'm
Yeah.
planning on doing veterinary. So
Okay.
I
Yeah, just make it poultry related. So look up specifically
okay.
poultry related. Yeah, that's fine. Now, Alba, you got a question? And I see one of some. It says Alba and one other have their hands raised. So I don't know who the one other is, but
Mm, do chickens do chickens so
you want to think
my
about your question and get back to me?
my chickens my chickens like eating all our plants, our baby chicks, all our plants,
Oh, the baby chicks are eating all the plants?
and yeah, and they're all dying.
Uh-oh. Well, you might have to keep them away. Might need to put a little fence or something around your plants. Because chickens are notorious for wanting to eat stuff you don't want them to eat.
We do have a fence, but they can jump and fly.
Oh, okay. Well, you might consider trimming one of their wing feathers. Yeah,
We
not
tried that,
oh,
but
they
it
still
didn't
put
work. They still flied. Then they were flying on top of to our roofs.
if you
Fruit.
if you trim both wings, it's bad because then they can still fly. But if you do one and leave the other long, they can kind of fly in a little circle and not get very far.
But our white fence that we keep them in is like this tall, and they can jump over.
Oh. Well, have you tried putting up a sign that says no eating these plants? Maybe they'd read that sign and just not eat them. I'm just teasing with you, but maybe you could just put a net or something around the plants, like a net that the sunlight could still get through,
Yeah.
and then the chickens couldn't. That might work. I don't know.
Like a tall gate
Well,
with,
maybe.
yeah, so like,
I, Dr. Chris, I think Viadel, if that's how you say it, uh,
Ooh.
there was a hand up, but then it went down. So I'm not sure if they changed their
They've
mind.
already got there. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna let them. I'm gonna let Vidal go over that. But
Oh, apologies for lowering my hand. No, I was just gonna say that I was almost done writing my answer. I might have put it a little bit too early instead of editing,
no,
but I
that's fine.
chose poultry geneticist and poultry veterinarian.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us about a poultry geneticist.
Well, they mostly study chickens and turkeys and genes to breed birds for better health. If I'm not mistaken, what they do is they grab DNA from it and they test it to see if they can biogenetically modify it with other birds. So, as well as this, it also helps chickens to not exactly as in the lower disease risk, but at the same time, it helps them last a few more years because a bird's expectancy can be tricky. There's not really an exact rate from it, but at the same time, if you study poultry geneticist, you can analyze the data, you genetically modify it, and at the same time, you can make more contributions to bird research. And for the second one for poultry veterinarian, I chose it because it's the opposite of poultry geneticist. It takes care of chickens and other birds. They treat their diseases, they prevent outbreaks, and at the same time, they give them vaccines and advise farmers. They inform farmers on their birds' health. So for this, I already did research before because I wanted to study veterinary, but now I want to study herpetology. You need a doctor of veterinary medicine degree and a veterinary license in order to pursue this.
That's fantastic.
Thank
Well,
you.
that's really good insight. On the geneticist, there's a term I want you to. I'm gonna put it in chat. I want you to look this up if that interests you at all, and you probably could apply it to herpetology as well. But the term is genomics, and look that term up. I think it might be something that interests you. You're very close to all kind of explaining what it is.
Oh
And
yeah,
there's
this is to understand their. This is to they study the data of certain like chickens and turkeys to understand like traits of their like health, growth, and their egg production. Specifically, their health and egg production. It doesn't really have to do with their growth because again, health and growth are practically the same thing. But mostly they use this information to breed better birds. Like I said, they grab DNA so they can genetically modify other birds to make them quote unquote better, not exactly making them like stronger in a way, but it just makes them, I would say, healthier. They last longer, and at the same time, they produce better eggs.
yeah,
So, I wouldn't really say this would apply to herpetology, but I would look it up later just in
yeah,
case. But thank you again.
yeah. And so genomics is and I'm talking like within the last 10 years, which is not very long. It's an emerging field in animal agriculture, and it's cross species, dairy, beef, even equine to a lesser extent. But genomics is sort of predictive breeding. We study the DNA of a sire and dam, which is a mom and dad, and we strategically breed. It's not necessarily modifying the genes, but we target breed and predict the milk production or the egg production or the meat quality or the speed in terms of a horse of the offspring based on data that we know about the mom and dad. And it's a fascinating field. And so genomics is certainly going to be something going
Mm.
forward. There's going to be a lot of careers in genomics. Yeah. Yeah. Tracy, I see you had your hand up. You want to tell us something? Share something with us?
Judging in 4-H.
Judging in 4-H, yeah.
The
You want to?
benefits are pretty good self-confidence and making skills. Public speaking seems pretty much up my alley.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, we need to get you doing poultry judging. I'd love to see you do poultry judge. We just had our poultry contest, well, at the state fair. So,
The, a, a competitive educational program where you evaluate, rank, and provide oral reasons for classrooms of items, livestock, horses, photography, to develop critical thinking and communication skills. Utilizing a 100-point system, participants often use the Danish system to measure against the standards.
yep, that sounds good. Good job, Tracy. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you sharing. Yeah, that would be something you'd be good at.
I
I think
think
Bimini had their
Bimini, yeah,
hand up.
I was gonna say Bimini.
Bimini, you want to go?
Sure. So I'd like to be a poultry veterinarian specialized in probably genetics and just overall health. And they care for health, growth, diseases, and they try and figure out cures. Because there is a couple of diseases that don't have a cure. Because my birds had one of those diseases, and we had to put her down.
I remember
So
that. I remember you sharing that with us.
yeah.
And sometimes you go through a tragedy like that, and it's sad at the time. It really is. But you get through it, you persevere, and it makes you a better person. And then you may come back. I know a lady who's an attorney now that when she was a teenager, she was in a car wreck. And well, that kind of helped her choose a career as being an attorney. And so, anyway, I'm not saying I want bad things to happen to you, but when bad things do happen to you, sometimes you make up your mind, I'm going to learn from this, I'm going to grow from this, I'm going to make it. And, you know, like Bimini said, she turned this thing where she lost a bird to this disease. Now she's interested in studying avian disease, right, Bimini? And so you turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, fantastic. Isabella says I chose. I'll let Isabella talk. Can you talk? You want to talk? I don't want to read your words for you. I'd rather you read your own words. If you can't talk, I'll read it. But it's fine. I still
Hi,
can.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out where my button was. I chose chicken. Um, hold on, trying to find where I wrote it.
We can hear you.
I chose chicken judging. To be a licensed chicken judge, you have to go to the APA, American Poultry Association. Few of the steps are you have to understand breed standards and what they're going to be wanting you to look at versus egg production, meat production, overall health and quality. Also, they're going to be looking at people to pass a written and showroom test, which is kind of just their way of making sure you know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's one of the things that I've always been interested in because I do cattle, and so I always enjoy being judged and seeing what the judge thinks of my cattle and other good milk production and meat production. So I think I would enjoy doing the same in a different species.
Yeah, that's good. And to be a licensed judge through APA is that's a big honor. And so that's a big deal. All right.
Well, and I will
Yeah.
tell you, we're always looking for judges when we have
Yeah, they're few and far
our
between.
panhandle
APA
show.
certified judges are very few and far between. So, and we
Yeah, we
need
have that
more.
trouble sometimes with cattle too, finding
Yeah.
licensed judge.
I would very much encourage you to pursue that. Yeah. And if it's something that I can help you with. I mean, I'm not an APA certified judge, but I know some folks who are, and I'd be happy to help you look into that if you sounds like you're already on your way to looking into it, but there's some folks around that might be able to help you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Natalia, we appreciate you joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this meeting. Would and Vidal came up with some stuff. I figured that may be an area that you like.
I have to go too. We have to
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Well, we appreciate you coming on. I know it's almost time to leave.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
I think Briley has, and then Alba, and then Fidel. Fidel.
All right, go ahead. Whoever she said first, go ahead. Briley, I guess.
It wasn't really something important. I was about to say, why is my chicken look like she's been in a fight? So yeah, that ain't important. So
Oh, well, let's see your chicken. You got it there where we can look at it? I always like to look at chickens.
it's outside and I can't really catch my
okay.
chickens, but I the only one I can catch is Brownie. She's one of my brown chickens. She's one of my only brown chickens with brown chest on her chest and black on the rest of her body.
Oh, okay. Well, we can't really tell much without seeing them, so maybe take some pictures and email us.
I'm on my older sister's computer. I can't get on my mom's phone right now because she has to sleep.
All right. Well, we can't be much help to you with that. Who else wanted to say a career? We got some real good ones. Did anybody do anything with nutrition? Let's see what we got over here. Anybody else? All right. I don't hear any takers. Oh, I got one in the chat. Amelia's got one in the chat. Amelia, why don't you unmute and tell us about this?
Me?
No, Amelia Zelzanot in the chat. Amelia Z. She's one of our long time members of this club too.
Yes, sir. What did you want me to talk about? What I chose?
Your career there in the chat.
Oh, if I had to choose a career in poultry, one that I would be interested in would be a USDA inspector because I've been doing poultry judging since I was a peewee in 4-H, which has been about 10-ish years. So I've been doing it for a long time and I really enjoy that competition. Some of the things that you can do through that job or like area is like you can be a specialized grader, like grading exterior or interior eggs, breakout eggs, and like the carcasses. I don't know if some of you have been to the contest, but we have like the ready to cook carcasses where you're judging it. That's something else that I'm interested in, not just within poultry, but the meat judging contest that also goes on in April with a bunch of different other species. That just like really piqued my interest when I learned about that. Another one that I was thinking about as well is a chicken or like a poultry nutritionist. That would be a fun one.
Yeah. Fantastic, Amelia. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, the skills we teach you in the poultry judging contest, those are real careers tied to that. When you go to the grocery store and you see a chicken carcass labeled as grade A or eggs labeled as grade A, that means something. And what you learn in poultry judging, what Bimini's learned in poultry judging and others that have done it, have learned what those grades mean and how to evaluate eggs and how to evaluate the quality carcass to see if it meets its minimum USDA standards to be deemed grade A. And so that's great. Yeah, or yeah, be an informed consumer. If you never go into the career, at least you'll know what it means when you go to the grocery store. All right, Tracy, you had your hand up. You gonna say something else, Tracy, or is that hand up from before?
About a disease that someone said that they might have in their chicken.
Oh, I didn't
Did
catch that.
did the chicken have a tumor?
Oh, I don't know. I remember a long time ago, a
Because
couple
if
years
it
ago,
was,
Bimini
it
had a
was
chicken.
in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was maybe Bimini said that's why they were wanting to get into poultry veterinary science because they had a chicken that got sick and died, and there's no cure for the disease. But I think Tracy was curious as to what disease it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe Bimini might share.
Well, a way that you can learn on how it looks. I mean, the symptoms of it. Our nerves, skin, and organs are normally looking pretty bad.
Hmm. Yeah,
Symptoms: loss,
sometimes it's sad to have a sick chicken or
fever,
used chicken.
listlessness, blindness, par- paralysis. It can
Paralysis,
also
yeah.
be it can also be paralyzed as well.
What disease is this you're looking at?
Hmm?
What disease are you talking about?
Merrick's.
Oh, Marex's. Okay, yeah, yeah. And we
Chicken.
vaccinate for that, so you could get a job in a hatchery vaccinating chicks for Marek disease, for those
Yeah,
other diseases. Yeah.
but the disease vaccine is not 100% effective. It will affect the tumor will affect the liver, spleen, kidney, urinary, and nerves.
But then I know you wanna ride.
All right. Well, does anybody else have another career they'd like to share? All right. Well, it's about Miss Prudence. Do you have any thoughts on poultry careers?
Um, no, I will say though, I maybe we could talk about next month is the my new wish list bird is a Scots Dumpy, which is a breed that you get in Scotland, but uh I've been doing a very little bit of research on how to get eggs from Scotland here to hatch them. And the ironic thing is that you can bring them over, you can bring hatching eggs over, but then they require them to be quarantined for 30 days.
A Scots Dumpy?
Yeah.
Never heard of that breed. I'm looking them up right
Oh, yeah,
now.
you got little bitty short legs.
Oh, I see why they call
So
them Dumpy.
cute. It's like a standard breed size chicken the size of a Banny.
Hmm.
It's so cute. But
Where did you
yes,
find about this breed?
well, I'm going to Scotland. So
Oh,
I've been like, what fun chicken thing can I do over in Scotland? And but I
you're
was
gonna
like,
smuggle back some Scots
yeah,
Dumpies.
Scottish dumpy eggs, but they have to be quarantined for 30 days, which would then make them
Yeah, they wouldn't be
very
good to.
unviable.
Huh.
Reduce my hatch rate tremendously.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure
One
out
of the
how to smuggle back live birds now. That's my
Oh,
next
okay.
step. We'll figure it out.
students, one of the problems with that is that they're not accepted in the standard of perfection.
I don't care. I just want to kiss it, Mr. Joe. I
Oh, we
just
got
want to
Mr.
kiss
Joe with
it.
us. I didn't know you were with us.
I'm incognito.
Oh, okay. Now, I will say Mr. Joe is a retired extension agent, and he has a degree in poultry science, and he managed some pretty large chicken farms in his time. He's had an interesting series of careers.
This is like freezing.
All right. Well, any other careers that they explored that interest them, or if not, we can log that. So, what was your Miss Prudence? You want to talk about weird chicken breeds? Is that what you were going to say
Yeah,
next
that
time?
was the one I'm worried about, trying to figure out how to get me some Scots
Oh,
Dumpies.
Scott Stumpies. Okay.
Yeah.
Another one you might like is the Cow chicken
Those
or
are
the
cool.
Phoenix chicken
What is it,
or the
Phoenix.
Lily?
Phoenix chicken.
I've seen
The
Phoenix.
Dawn,
You must have
the DONG space TAO.
They
They're
kind of look
really
like,
cool.
yeah, they are cool. They have a lot of,
They're called,
I guess you could say comb and wattles are very pronounced. It's like they have a lot of red on there. And their legs are kind of funny too. I'll have to try to find some.
yeah, they're also called dragon chickens.
And Phoenixes have the very long tail. I think they are in the standard of perfection, if I remember right. I believe Phoenix are. Um,
Yeah, and the Dong Taos are red for meat.
well, maybe we can do genetics next time and learn. We haven't done a genetics lesson yet, so maybe we can do some. Maybe
Oh,
I'll send a survey out to send me a breed you'd like to learn more about. Are you looking at breed up, Prudence? They're funny looking.
that's one word for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you
How do you
can
like them?
see. Oh, hang on. I'm going to
How do
turn
you
my
like
background off.
Are you going to show us your picture?
Yeah, I've got to turn off my background though.
I used to look up exotic stuff, so I used to love exotic plants and chickens. So,
Is that them, Lily?
yup. They're also called Vietnamese dragon chickens.
That's a
Yeah.
lot. I don't dig that.
Yeah, that's not your cup of tea.
No.
Show us the Scots Dumpies now that show everybody what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Scottish Dumpies, I guess.
No, it's Scots is what it's
Huh?
called.
Alba, do you have another question?
Yeah. I want to be a marine biologist.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a very good career. I wish you well. I hope you do. I know you'll do great in that.
Yeah, so the Scots Dumpies just have little short legs.
They're the basset hounds of the poultry world.
Right.
All right, Viadel, did you have a question you wanted to ask?
Yeah, I'm kind of sorry. I was just gonna ask. I wrote them down on my phone because I didn't want to forget. I was just gonna ask that, can we use genomics to prevent diseases in chickens before they even start?
One of the body systems is how shall I rephrase this? Let me start over. The immune system certainly also has a genetic component too. Now, there's a lot of ways animals can get sick. Bacteria can be introduced, viruses can be introduced. There's thresholds for temperature, for nutritional. There's all kinds of disease, but there is an immune system that fights disease. And there is, I would say, maybe the potential to breed a chicken or breed a cow or breed a whatever that has a little bit higher threshold or a little bit maybe souped up or improved immune system. Now, you can't ever always prevent every bird from getting any disease, but certainly there is a genetic component to the immune system. Does that make sense?
Sort
So
of, yeah.
you
Yeah,
can make a bird that
I'll have to
maybe,
like dive deeper into it
yeah, you
because
maybe,
genetics is pretty interesting. It's not just something you can just like get I would say spoon fed into your mouth with information. You have to do deep research into it because I wanted to get into genomics and genetics, but I kind of opted to herpetology since I like reptiles.
well, the thing about genetics is it is fascinating. It was one of my favorite college courses was genetics. I thought it was just cool. And we are only just scratching this. I mean, there's a lot left to explore in genetics. I'll say that. So yes, you could theoretically breed birds that have a more robust immune system.
I would say so. Other thing I was gonna ask, could studying chicken DNA change the future of sustainable farming?
Quite possibly because I mean, look at the advancements in poultry genetics in just the 20th century alone. We now have a bird that's ready for consumption in like less than 2 months. From hatch to 5 pounds and what did we say, 47 days? That is a genetic feat that probably, I don't know that it'll ever be rivaled again. I mean, just the amount of, I can't, it blows my mind that we've gone from the red jungle fowl, however many thousands of years ago, to now we have a broiler bird that can be ready to harvest in 50 days.
Of course. My last question was, what limits should we have when changing chicken DNA for food production?
Say that again.
What limits should we have when changing chicken DNA for food production?
Okay. Now remember, you're not changing. Well, I guess
They're
you can
modifying it. I
capitalize.
would
You're
say
not
it's
really
another
gonna.
way of saying changing.
Yeah. You're not really gonna make it a. You're not gonna cross a chicken with a cow or anything like that. But
No, it has to
uh,
be the same subspecies.
yeah, it'd be the same exactly. And so what you can do is emphasize things in crossbreeding, and that's where you get strains. And Mr. Joe could probably explain strains of birds better than I could. But within the Leghorn breed, Miss Prudence talked about her dad or her grandpa had Leghorn chickens. Well, there's particular strains of Leghorn chickens, and strain is sort of a uh, what's the best way for me to explain strains? Uh, a particular line bred for Mr. Joe. I'll let him. I see he's
It's
unmuted.
a genetic line. What you're doing is you're not changing the DNA. What you are is turning on and off different alleles or different genes that's already there. So that's not really changing the DNA. It's just like, uh, you know, I've got several children and none of them are exactly the same. Their DNA is going to be real close, but it'd be the different genes got turned on and off when they were uh, conceived. Now you've got
Would
we
this, oh, I'm
we have
sorry, go ahead.
we've gotten to the point in genetics and breeding that we actually find those particular alleles, those particular genes, and we can either turn them on or turn them off.
That's reasonable.
That's
I was gonna add
modifying
as well.
pardon?
Oh, I was gonna add as well. Would this also apply to preserving rare bird species as well, not just like aviary birds or stationary birds like chickens and turkeys?
Well, I think the biggest thing there is environmental factors. Um, Now you could have you and the route you may be going there is that if you're able to turn more disease resistance on in those native birds, those that may prolong the species even more. If that's where you're going, yes, that's possible.
Oh,
And
okay. Thank you so
that's
much.
possible even today, but you've got to have a number. You've got to have a genetic pool that's large enough to work with. One of the problems if with even with chickens, if you don't if you don't have a diversity of your genetic pool, then you get a lot of genes that are turned on that are not necessarily good. It's called inbreeding. And
That's never good when trying to do it with animals.
right, inbreeding is something you try to stay away from. Now, you may inbreed some just in order to get certain genes turned on, but it's not something you want to do.
Isn't it also risky for the animal as well? There's a lot of mutations that can happen with inbreeding. Well, if you're not cautious, well, yeah, that would happen.
Yes.
Hey, so I have a question.
Okay.
How many generations qualify as inbreeding? Do we know?
One.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, like, for example, if I had a cow, but like, well, I do have cows, and so this is the reason I asked the question. And I have another cow brought to the farm, and they're relatives, like by their great great grandparents. Is it okay for them to breed, or is it
So you,
dangerous
yeah,
as a
what you're
breeder?
asking is how many generations between, um, a- and you can, I mean, the simple answer is one, but the the more complicated answer is it could be any number, and you may do some of that inbreeding in order to get certain um, recessive genes to turn on in your breeding program. That's a little complicated I think for this group, but
Yeah. That's some graduate level stuff there, but they're good questions. I had an old timer tell me here, this is oversimplifying it, of course, but this is kind of a joke. But I used to hear an old timer say, if you breed like that, like you're talking about, and something good happens, it's called line breeding. And
yeah.
if something bad happens, it's called inbreeding. So it gets into risky business a little bit. So, but it is fascinating. Genetics is fascinating. And maybe that's something we'll talk. Maybe we'll go into poultry genetics next time. It seems like you all are very interested in genetics, so maybe that'll be the subject of our next meeting. So,
In poultry genetics, Chris, remember the rules are different in avian than they are in mammalian.
yeah, it's a totally different world when we're dealing with avian species. So that's absolutely right. So,
I just wanted to say, if Miss Prudence is looking for durability, I would recommend a Sarima chicken or a Belizean Diuso chicken.
Diuco?
Yeah, Diuco.
Now I do have a Sarama rooster. He's not as tame as I would like him to be, but I did need a little Banny rooster, and he was available. So I do have a Sarama rooster. My son, when he was in 4-H, he raised Saramas, and they're super cute. But
Yeah.
I saw those little sawed-off legs on those Scots dumpies, and they're super cute.
Yeah,
And
I used
and I
to
feel
look
like if
up
anybody's
exotic.
gonna go on a trip and bring back a chicken, it should be me, right? I mean,
Yeah,
before
just don't get caught in customs.
yes.
okay. Oh, Ruby, we need to see. Is that your cat? Unmute Ruby so we can see your cat and talk so we can all see your cat.
This is my dog.
Opal.
What's your dog's name?
Opal.
Opal. How old is your dog?
She's going to turn 2 on July 10th.
He looks happy. Hi, Opal. Well, what kind of dog is Opal?
She's a Schipperke. You can also say it's Skipperke. It translates to little sailor.
Oh, okay.
She's from, her breed originated in Belgium. I drew a chicken.
Oh, cool. That's pretty good. Alba looks good. Vito says Shamo chickens are very resilient. All right, everybody. Well, thanks, Mr. Joe, for the insight on that discussion on genetics. That was a very good discussion. I love our discussions we get into in this club. We always have the most fascinating discussions. And no matter what I plan, our discussions afterwards always is more interesting, I think. So keep asking good questions. Well, thanks everybody for coming tonight. Miss Prudence, you have any other words of wisdom for us?
No, I'm going to post this to our YouTube channel. I put it in the chat and I will also email it, but I'm not on the PYD Academy list for the Work Ready Florida, so you will have to forward that link along.
Yeah, or maybe I need to add you to that list. I don't know.
My plate is a platter.
What's that?
I said my plate is a platter.
I don't know how much I take, I ask more of you than I probably should.
No, it's not just you, but Jennifer's trying to get me to say no. But yes, if you wanted to add me to that list, that would be fine. If I'm available, I would love to
Are we
join.
almost done?
Yes.
We're about,
I'm gonna stop the recording.
yeah. All right. Well, thanks, everyone.